All right, it's Friday, June 21st, and the blackberries are coming on strong. I've been able to pick about a quart a day for the last, 4 or 5 days. And some folks have asked me about how can you tell when to pick, how do you pick? So I'll give you a quick tutorial here. So here's my blackberry bushes, some of my canes. You can see I got a bunch of canes out here. But I'll show you these now. You may have seen an earlier video when these canes were coming up in the spring. The fruiticanes, the ones that had wintered over, produce white flowers. And the white flowers last about a week and they fall off. And in the center of where the white flower was, then there are little green berries. And the little green berries stay green for 2 or 3 weeks, and then they turn red. And then, starting about the 1st of June, they go to a deeper red, and the last day or two, they go from a deep red to a purple to a black. But they don't all do it at the same time. So these berries on this bush are gonna all ripen a few at a time, a few every day, for the next 3 weeks. Now at the peak, around the 1st of July, there'll be a bunch of them, obviously. You just stand here and pick blackberries. But there's some that are already ready. You pick them too soon, they're a little bitter, not sweet yet. You pick them too late, and the bugs get them, or sometimes they start to decay a little bit, but you get them on just the right day, man, they're glorious. But blackberries are funny. You have to pick them by hand. That's one reason why they're expensive in the supermarket, because there's no one day you can come in here and harvest all these berries. These berries are going to have to be harvested every day over the next 3 or 4 weeks. So every day there'll be some of these berries that are black. All right, some of them are a little brighter red than others. These are kind of a pink red. These are more of a dark red. You can see they're starting to, a lot of these are starting to fill out. And then scattered in here are some that are a rich black, and they almost look like they've been pumped full of water. Those are the ones that you want to pick. Not purple. No longer red, but black and full. One of the reasons why these bushes are relatively easy to pick for me is Tennessee wild blackberries are a so-called erect variety. So the primocanes, there's a good example of a couple of primocanes, grow straight up and they will support their own weight. They'll go up 10, 12, 15 feet. Eventually, they get so long, and especially when the berries come in, they get full and they fall over. But if you cut the tip off at about 4 feet, then they'll start shooting out laterals. And you can see this is one I've tipped. It's put out all kinds of laterals now, and all those laterals will have berries. And instead of having a long cane that flops over and breaks or lays the berries on the ground, we're going to have bushes with berries that are easy to get to without getting your fingers pricked, without having to wade into a thicket, because I'll clear all the old blackberries, all the old dead canes out in the fall and over the winter. All these canes with berries on them here will die at the end of the summer. And the green primocanes, which have no berries on them, will survive the winter. And they're the ones which you'll have next year's crop. So you're always kind of working on 2 years worth of blackberries. You're working on this year's fruiticanes. Oh my, just an embarrassment of berries there. And a couple of them that are ripe. That one's ripe. Plump, dark black, full of blackberry juice, vitamin C, trace minerals, good stuff. You can have them, you can snack on them, you can put them in a smoothie, you can put them on cheesecake. I like just put a little sugar on, put them on my plate. This is one. These berries are still green. Hope he's getting enough water. But right across on the adjacent row, there's one, and there's one that are dark black. Dark black means they're ready to pick. So you can train the bushes to where the blackberries are easy to get to and you don't have to fight your way through a thicket of canes. Trim the primocanes at 4 feet. And then when the fruiticanes die off at the end of the summer after all the berries have been picked, so August, September, October, fruiticanes will be dying off. Cut them down. All those dead canes do is build a thicket, and a thicket is exactly what you don't want. What you want are primocanes every year that have been tipped and trained not to fall over and build a thicket, but to put out laterals like that one there, which is maybe a little too high. These guys are all putting out laterals because I trimmed them at about 5-6 feet, where you can get to the berries next year easily. So you're working on the primocanes, bright green, that grow up. You can sometimes watch them grow. They'll grow, I've seen them grow 12 inches in 24 hours. And if you trim it off, then it won't grow any higher. It'll put out laterals and you'll have a bush. And next year's blackberries will look something like this, where they'll all be accessible. Oh, and there are a couple of big ones in here.